Um, so I think that offensive team logos are just that, offensive. And I think that people aren't fully aware of how offensive some logos are. There's some obvious ones, like the Cleveland Indians, number one team, league's worst mascot. We can talk about the Celtics, making fun of the Irish with big bellies and cigars and things and pipes hanging out of their mouth, much like your phone's case right there. Absolutely offensive. Am I Irish? No. Do they have some privileges of being white European? Yes. But the fact is, that's clearly offensive to the Irish. And I don't think we're
James, do you
fully
copy?
aware.
James?
I don't think we're fully aware of all of the ways that some of these things are offensive. And I look at it in terms of saying, if you're going to have a mascot or a logo, there's certainly ones that can be done out there that won't offend folks. San Diego Chargers, one of the coolest kind of old school sort of logos out there. Oakland Raiders, I mean, those guys look bad, but we're not offending the Raider community, right? So there's an example even using people, but not a particular people. So I think there's a lot of room to move on to. I think, in fact, the government intrusion should come in the NFL and get rid of the Washington Redskins completely. When Dan Snyder holds on to that again and again and again, he shows himself to be a little-minded man who only cares about money and his brand, and that's doubly offensive to me.
Looking at the sports teams, whether they're professional or college level, I really think a lot of them have to do with Native Americans. I find offensive, such as the Cleveland Indians. I think some people would find that the name itself is offensive. Some people would actually say, and I agree with this, that their mascot, his name's Chief Wahoo. I think that name and how they represent him with his almost caricature or cartoon appearance is really, really offensive. In Washington, D.C., the sports team, NFL sports team, the Washington Redskins, I find really offensive. The name is just blatantly racist, and their logo is also somewhat offensive as well. Even the NHL, the National Hockey League, they have the Chicago Blackhawks. I know they're trying to attach it to an actual tribe, but I think that sometimes you don't want to take one group of people and exploit them just to use their name and their likeliness as a logo. I guess apart from the Native Americans, I really think that Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, some people get offended by that because it kind of makes all Irish people look like they're rowdy and ready to get into a fight.
Okay, if we made like a competition, do you think that it would be a smart idea to do?
I think making a competition to redesign some sports teams' names or some sports teams' logos, I think would be awesome. For example, there's a rich history in Cleveland. They don't need to use the Indians as their name and logo. There's so much in Cleveland that just speaks to that area and speaks to that city. I think there's a lot of opportunities to get really creative and have a name and a mascot and a logo that are just phenomenal.
And if we did do a competition, would you join it?
Would I join? It's questionable. I'm not the greatest artist. I could maybe chime in and help somebody get acquainted with some Cleveland history or some Chicago history or something. That might be a little better, but I don't know if you want to see my artwork.
Not even if you could change even like a name, because like I told you before, you can do either you could change the name and the mascot.
I'd take a swing at it. I think some of these deserve a chance to change. I know a lot of people are pulling for, especially the Cleveland Indians. There's a lot of controversy about the Washington Redskins. So I think in the next few years, I think there will be a change made, and yeah, if I could be a part of it, yeah, I'd take a swing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I feel the mascots, what is it, the negative, like the Blackhawks and the Indians and the Redskins, it's not highlighted in a positive way, and that it should, if they're going to use that, they should make it in a more positive way or change their names. It's not putting a good focus on them. So yeah, I think it's kind of...
I think that offensive logos are just that, offensive, and yes, they should be changed. You shouldn't have something that offends an entire group of people representing you or your team.
So I think team logos, they should go as far as they can to try not to offend people or hurt their feelings. Some people say that, it's no big deal, that they shouldn't be offended by it, but if a group of people identifies with that as being something offensive to them, then the team should take that into account and try to find a different way to represent the team instead of something that hurts people.
Native American culture, and
Yeah, I think out of like all of the different logos, like animals really aren't offensive or anything like that, but like having different like minorities and stuff as logos for teams seems like it could be an issue for the minorities themselves. They might find themselves being like persecuted or seen as something that they're not, and I think especially with like Native Americans or Indians or whatever you really want to call them, it's difficult for them to have like be portrayed in this way because they've been treated so terribly in history.
if a sports team were to use their mascot and say like the Cleveland black people.
The Cleveland N-word.
Yeah, exactly. That would be extremely racist, and I feel like this is the exact same kind of thing. It's not as pertinent because Native Americans aren't as big of a minority as African Americans. It's not as much of a problem that we see in culture, but it's still a huge problem.
Like it's Redskins. It's not even like Native Americans or Indians or like that. Like if we were like the Cleveland Blackskins, everyone would be like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you.
Do you guys think that there are any other teams other than those two that are offensive?
If I knew about
Yeah,
sports, I would probably find.
To be honest, no idea about sports teams.
I don't know a lot about sports either. I could probably find some that.
Yeah, I could research.
Yeah.
Do you think that we should do a competition over this to change the names and logos?
Oh, definitely.
I think it would actually like work out really well, especially like
I know.
because our school's so artsy.
Yeah, also I know that this is a big thing in the media right now about these especially these logos especially. And if you guys worked really hard, you might be able to get media coverage about it. Because if you did a
Definitely
really
reach out to
if
other
you did a really good job, then somebody's gonna pay attention.
If you could join the competition, would you?
If I
Sure.
felt like I could create a logo that would be anywhere near as good, yes, but I'm not artistically talented. in
If
that
someone
sort.
gave me an idea, I could probably go.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
I think that the logo should be changed because they're offensive to the people, like the rest.
They should change the logos because that can be offensive to other people and that can hurt other people's feelings. That's just not nice.
The Cleveland Indians and the Washington Redskins.
Why do you think these sports teams are offensive?
Because it's just really disrespectful, and they're kind of making fun of them too, like the Indians and everything.
Okay, if we made a competition over changing the either logos or the names of certain teams, or you could do both, would you maybe want to join it?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Okay, and also, do you think it's a smart idea to do this competition?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you for your...
I think the Cleveland Indians, that's offensive, and the Washington Redskins, Boston Celtics, the Minnesota Vikings.
Why do you guys think that these logos are offensive?
They could be viewed as racist. Yeah, they are racist, frankly. Yeah. And
Do you guys think that these logos should be changed or the names?
yeah, the names and the logo definitely need to be changed.
So if we put on a competition for this, do you guys think you would join it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, thank you.